Willits, Old Men Stories. I'm here with.
Okay, here's the Old Men Stories. I came down this hill out here in 1979, around Thanksgiving. I had never been in a radio station before. This is the time, and still now, 40 years later, is the #1 radio station in the market. WKYQ. Bristol Broadcasting now in this location owns every station I have ever worked for but one. So whether I worked here or whether I worked for some of the satellite stations when I didn't work here, I have been affiliated with this station for quite a long time. Well, the first time I ever came down this hill, I was just fascinated, just like a little kid had just discovered his hand. Wow! So here I come, and I didn't have any more business being a radio announcer than a frog does flying aircraft. I had no business here. But they were good to me, they were patient to me, and some good friends took care of me, and I have worked hard. I have a son who is almost 40 years old who's been working here off and on for about 18 years now, so it's been a good family tradition. When I came here, I worked 6 years and got fired. And then I went to several stations around the market who now are owned by Bristol Broadcasting, at the time were not. And 10 years later to the day, the guy who fired me, who by then had been demoted to part-time status, had to come in and relieve me on my air shift when I came back. This is the good story part. I have been fired here 3 times. I have quit here, I think, 9 times, and I don't have the record. There are other people that have been in and out here more than I have. Bristol Broadcasting, everybody that works here really likes to work here. It's a family, and we're all relatives, we're good friends, and we take care of each other whether we work here or not. So that's that part of the Old Men Story, is how many times I've been in and out of here.
That is really cool.
Now I'm working. I work during the days, 10 to 3 weekdays, on our sister station, Willie 102, and then I only work on WKYQ on the weekend. There is a show here that is pretty well known. It actually has more likes on Facebook than the radio station itself does, and I mean a lot more likes. It's called Outlaw Hours, and it is an outlet for people to have just 4 or 5 hours of party music on the weekends. And it gets kind of wild. It gets to be there's some stuff on there that you won't hear any other time because it's unprintable. But anyway, I'm now the host of Outlaw Hours again. I think this is my 7th time as being host of Outlaw Hours. And my son has been the host of Outlaw Hours longer. He's put in more hours on it than I have. He doesn't work here right now. He quit back around Thanksgiving. But he was in here visiting his family day before yesterday. I mean, we all get along really well here. But Outlaw Hours has been a very successful, locally produced show. It's been on the air here at Bristol since shortly before I started working here, about 78, 79. And between Jeremy and me, we've done over half of the years of the shows. Just us two have been the hosts over half of those 40-some years. So family traditions exist in radio.
They do, yeah.
My dad, whose name is Bob Newberry, was in Germany in the Army when I was a little kid, about a year or 2 old. And the base where he was at in Germany had a guy named Jerry Sullivan, who has won Grammys with Marty Stewart as a gospel performer. Jerry and Tammy Sullivan Bluegrass Gospel as one of the house band in one of the Silver Dollar City venues. And before my dad passed, we went out there once in a while to see them. Anyway, Jerry and Tammy, Jerry Sullivan and my father and Tom T. Hall and a guy named Presley, somebody, remember him, big sideburns? They were all on the same military base in Germany at the same time.
Wow.
Europe had a lot of great music over there in those days. Another brush with greatness, I missed it by that much.
Sort of sitting there watching it pass every time, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I jump in and participate whenever I can.
Well, hey, the journey's about the journey.
I'll tell you.
Sometimes the famous die young.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what saved me.
That's right. That might
the notorious make it a little longer. I have worn a lot of hats. People call me a jack of all trades. My technical name is Jack, Cactus Jack. My name is Jack. And I make jokes about Mom and Dad knew what they were doing when they named me. I have a business where I do maintenance and repair on rental property. And I have built several houses from scratch with no help, poured my own concrete, built the walls, the whole 9 yards. My business now, the last time I got fired here, I just formed a business where I couldn't get fired anymore. And it's called Newberry Maintenance and Repair Service, and that's what I do. I fix houses. I do everything. Well, I don't actually have any education in that field. I have a degree in electronics. I like 2 classes having a degree in computers, and I have a degree in physics. So what do I do for a living? I play radio and I fix houses. But it served me well. And they say the old thing about jack of all trades. Well, I've mastered several of those trades. You know, I'm pretty good at a lot of things. And that's what my family always, that's what we have always taken the most pride in, is our skills and our knowledge. You know, what you know and what you can do. And in that aspect, I'm the wealthiest man that I know. I'm really, really happy with the accomplishments I've made along those lines.
You had a great journey.
Yes, I have.
And you have a great journey. You have a great journey.
Yeah, yes, sir, and I'm still going.
And I saw you last night at
At the Kentucky Opry with my
Yes.
good friend Clay Campbell, and actually again, though,
our good friend Clay Campbell.
our good friend Clay Campbell, our great friend Clay Campbell.
That's right, exactly. I like
And
that.
got to see my friend Scotty Henson, who is he and my dad played music together before I was born, and Scotty was there, and got a chance to visit with him. His health is not the greatest,
Yeah.
but he was a big part of the Kentucky Opry for the entire time it was there until a couple of years ago. He finally retired.
Yes, he
And
did.
he, along with Clay Campbell, Clay has also had so much influence on so many young people. Kept them out of trouble, kept them out of bars and roadhouses in a smoke-free environment, taught them how to make music in a way that is not traditional country music. You know, country music pickers, you know, a lot of them, they think you gotta be drunk in crowds and chase women. And Clay Campbell, you know, that's not what he does. You go in there, it's just like going to church.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. He is an honorable, hardworking, great musician with a crowd of kids that have grown up around him that are wonderful.
Including his own 3 children, who are all very, very talented, very accomplished musicians in their own right now. And they're all friends of mine too. Here's how I met Clay Campbell, old men's stories. There's a radio station which is now 2 doors down the hall called WDXR, and that was one of the places that I went to several times while I wasn't working here. Well, at one point in time, Clay Campbell, who is a really good advertising executive, had formed a little local trader sheet called the ad sheet. That was the title of the ad sheet. And he did advertising with WDXR to advertise the ad sheet on a trade basis. And I met Clay through that. He would come in and drop off the ad sheet, and we would talk music and talk country music, and we became friends. And then a few years later, when he had the original first Kentucky Opry, the Quonset Hut down in Draftonville, I lived about a mile down the road, and I was one of those 30-some people that he talks about, and he doesn't remember me at all. He remembers me from the radio station, but not from the Quonset Hut. But years later, you know, we connected up again when I went to work at Willie 102, when it was located in Mayfield a couple of hirings ago, and we became really good friends. And like I say, I cannot say enough good about Clay Campbell. He's really an amazing good man.
That is really wonderful.
And by the way, he married up. Have you met Barbie?
Love Barbie.
Yes, love Barbie.
She's a toughie. I love her.
Clay married up. There's no 2 ways about it.
She is just a whiz and a lovely lady and a good business person. She keeps that place running. I've been over there during the day when Clay wasn't there and watched her getting the whole stage set up, and she was getting it set up for Christmas at the time, and she just.
And that place is a madhouse around the holidays.
Oh, I
They
bet.
do 2 matinees a day, and a lot of times they do a night show. And then they still do the complete Kentucky Opry Christmas show on the weekends, which we're all accustomed to. Yeah. She is quite a magician, quite a juggler.
I want to thank you very much, and we'll talk a little later.
I'm tickled to death that you allowed me to be part of your effort here.
Okay.
I'm really impressed with what you're doing, and I'm glad to be part of it. Thank you very much.
You've got to help me. Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack.
Old Man Stories.
Yay!
You have to say it.
Cactus Jack. Old Man Stories.
Roll Old Man Stories. Ho!
You want to look over here too? Cactus Jack. Old Man Stories.